We've gone from a funny ending where it just goes, sup, beep, to multiple beeps at the end now of our PEL videos. That shows just how crazy it gets when you're in a LAN environment. You're taking games and you're taking names, and sometimes you end up getting the placements you don't want. Then it really is the beep fest of all beep fests.
Yeah, this seemed like one of those good beeps, though.
Yeah, they were looking
multiple
happy.
good beeps.
Yeah, multiple good beeps. It's like, beep, yeah. Oh, beep, you're a beep.
Exactly. We do see the points here overall. Tornado Energy still in the top, but not with as big a lead as they had just before. Desperado, off of those 2 second-place games, shoot themselves into second place by just 1 point.
Yeah, not far away from trying to catch up to Tornado, who did have a significant lead going into the early portion of the day. Obviously, both Se7en and Tornado have not got off to the greatest starts here going into week 2. But there's still 2 more games for them to change that around. Now, the Swarm, they're in 13th place. I like what they've been trying to do, but I feel like they've been fighting so many engagements here early on, but not got the kind of understanding of what's going on around them all the time. Because you see them, it's not just that they're getting third-partied, it's like they'll finish off one fight and they'll just walk into another without really being ready for it.
Yeah, and we've got to keep in mind Swarm has wins too.
Yeah, God, they do, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they have 2 wins, 1 on each map, so clearly, they know what's up, they know what to do. It's just a matter of when and how to do it. As you said, James, they've been taking some early engagements where, was it really necessary? Sure, it could have been points, but you lost 2 players in doing so, and that meant that late game engagements you could take instead, that became a tricky one, and they die because of it. So maybe hold your horses for a little while. That has tended to be our main suggestion to some teams that have died off early. Hold those horses, don't engage if you don't have to, and then see yourself into the late game.
So an overall pretty fair circle we'll get from this. So playing from what we get from this.
Yeah, pretty decent playing. Only 1 team goes George anyway, so should be all right. Elgiganten will be making their way on up. Tarlans, they've said, you know what, Toby, you were right. We don't like ruins, so we'll just go West Coast.
Yeah, I want to know who, so we reckon Elgig's going to join Swarm now in Georgia Pole, which will even that up a little bit. Quickmath always gets Saverni, no problems at all. It's the only spot they seem to want to drop.
And well, I mean, they're getting it deservedly. Winside now down by Ferry Pier once again. Of course, 4AK will have seen this, so they know this time around to say, oh yes. Where do we go this time around? Which bridge is it going to be, or do we even have to leave? We'll have to wait and see. Could be back-to-back military games. That would be an interesting turn of events. And Moonwolf as well, up by Stalber Kameshki. Didn't want to go all the way down towards Mills of Power, contesting vehicles with other teams. So they'll settle for the northeast.
Ooh, we go all the way over towards the northeast as well. It's going to be a lot of water contained in it, but overall it's not too bad. It's just this with so many more teams being on this western side, that fight back in is going to be rather difficult.
Yeah, we've seen some crazy engagements and crazy fights happen on this side of the map before, and I'm looking forward to see it happen again. A lot of the teams are out west currently, getting looted up, of course, and they'll have to make their rotations on in. But this also means that I would assume to see at least a solid 10 of these teams that have to make their way in from the west go in from the south, as opposed to coming in from up north over Stalber. Quickmath, they're in Saverni. You have Swarm there up in George Bull already. They could potentially make that rotation over the northern side of Yasnaya, but everyone else, honestly, I would assume to see go south. Maybe Art of War would go over the river to the north, but other than that, it's going to be a contested area south of Mansion.
Now, I want to see something slightly different come out from Se7en this time around. They've been a bit more aggressive when it came down to the early game here. So on the first game, it was when there were still 16 teams. Yes, a few more players had died. But going into the second game, they went out in... how bad was it? 16th. Yeah, they went out 16th because they were fighting on the edge, right? They didn't want to cross over the bridge when they got some shots fired at them from Winside, so they waited for it, and they paid the price. So it was a tough time for them.
Yeah.
And yes, they're second at the moment, or third even, sorry, but 1 point separates from third to second. They are in a spot where it's very comfortable, but they want to still be able to deliver like we've seen them do in the past. That's what it's all about.
See, for us, they've been settling for the southern side previously, but now Shaxi has made his way on up to the backflip hill, backflip compound. And for those of you guys saying, but how do you guys know? We can't even see what Force are doing right now. Do make sure, especially if you have 2 monitors, to load up that map stream as well, !map, I believe in the chat, or else it's just PEL_esports_map. You'll be able to get the map stream going, and you can watch what everyone's doing, just like we can.
And that's the beauty of it. The map screen does offer so many more little differences you can spot that gives you an idea of what might go down in the coming fights, the coming rotations, where the circles may pop and how teams are going, because we can't watch all 16 teams 24/7. That would be a rather difficult job to do. And as Toby was saying, if you don't have a second monitor, you can for sure obviously use your tablet, use your phone, whatever it is. I'm sure you've got one of them. It does give you just a better understanding of what's going on the map, as everyone for now is starting to make their rotations over. Tarlans not going anywhere just yet. Swarm finally having to share Georgia Pole with Elgig. For us, we've seen some good games coming out of them. They are within this new circle. We've got 3D Max, Stella, and For us looking to fight for central space just outside Yasnaya.
Yeah. Saw Stella, they were trying to get on up there and see if they can claim themselves something, but they spotted Phantom, I believe, rotating on through, and they're like, oh, don't want to fight early again. We've been losing a player early both games so far today. Sure, the first one they won, even with that happening. Last game, though, not quite so much. So now they settle for those compounds just in the southern side of Yasnaya and the yellows. And, well, I mean, they're, in my opinion, better compounds to go for, and they have a chance to do some splitting here. I would assume to see a lot of teams splitting. Either 2-2 or maybe 3-1, depending on the priority of compounds. But, of course, I mean, with only so many compounds being available in the center of this circle, because no one wants to go Yasnaya, you also, if you are split, have to be ready for a potential push on towards you.
Blue, Vinco, they're a team that need to start to get back to that little bit of success we saw towards the end of week 1. But it is not easy. These are some incredibly stacked lobbies. Soda now trying his luck against them. Does manage to land a headshot there. They continue to shoot out towards it. Gifted Rude trying to run away. And that was good timing on the block. Toby's sound effects is almost like the real thing there.
Oh, I just pressed the button. You know, I've implemented them in the game now. I have like a hotkey thing where I just...
Okay, someone clip this. He's just admitted to having the phone that he always says he doesn't have. So we know he has control over the circles now, ladies and gentlemen.
I can press the button and vehicles explode. That's the thing now.
Hashtag blame Toby for anything bad that happens in PUBG.
One thing I like to see off of this, though, is that
Don't try to get out of this.
More often than not, we've seen VG be the ones being victim of this. They are always the ones getting shot at while rotating. And finally, they say, you know what? What if we just rotate a little earlier? Maybe we can actually get to shoot at people instead. Well, bada bing, bada boom. You just got yourself a point.
They need a hell of a lot more than that, though, if they want to jump themselves up to anywhere close towards top 8. There's a lot on the line across these final few days. And that's it. We always talk about, oh, there's plenty of games for these teams to play from, but
Oh, there isn't.
it really just disappears in front of their eyes.
It truly does. And also, I mean, it's easy for viewers to say, oh, just forget about that last game, play the next one. Believe me, you can spiral really easily into having a hard time if you get off 1, maybe 2 bad games. Trying to come back from that with just a 5-minute break, that can be extremely difficult. One thing is when you're at land, you can sit down together, talk things over. But here it can be even harder. So Sarah torn to pieces. Winside lost one to an explosion just before, but they get one in return.
Now, what you were saying there was very true, right? It's because even if you, like me, I try to be a positive person, you try to think of all the positives towards it. So if something really bad happens in a game and it just sits in the back of your minds, it can be something that derails you a little bit, and it's all about trying to train yourself to and able to keep yourself going.
And it doesn't even have to be in the game. It could be anything. I mean, anything that gets you in a bad mood can influence how you play on a given day. And when one day, 4 games is such a big thing we have, I mean, one day today is going to be 25% of the remaining games, right? So every single day, I mean, yeah, it matters equally. And you have to constantly be able to just put it all behind you, forget about it until the game's over.
PG18 got their firing squad lined up here.
Seems like Nimrith didn't know what Kai wanted to shoot. It kind of just like tap in with both of them at the same time.
One of you will blow up eventually.
Eventually. Didn't quite happen though. PG lived to see the volcano hill. For those of you guys who don't know, when casters reference volcano, they're sitting at volcano. They're rotating to volcano. This is the exact spot we're talking about. Right here. Volcano. Because there's a little bit of dip. And I guess once there was a volcano.
I wonder if it's hot underneath.
Probably is. If there was a volcano once at least.
Actually, it isn't, you know, because the way the map is coded is all water underneath. So it's just depending on the temperature of your water, of course.
Hot springs underneath.
Every time you go into the water, you start taking damage. Ow, ow, ow. Yeah. Fortunately, that's not quite the case. Now, 4AK have made their way across. They went for the Eastern Bridge. Makes sense according to the circle. Tarlans, they saw them, though, and they're returning around the other way. And holy water. We are continuing out on the eastern side. And what was once a few compounds is now even fewer. It's going to be half of these teams. Mansion is available. You have the Hilltop compound on the eastern side of Mansion 2. Lipovka is there, but we know that the Circle 4 is going to shift away from some water. So do you want to commit yourself down to that excluded city? I'm not sure if they do. Other than that, there's not a whole lot up for grabs.
This is where a lot of these fights will now start to go on.
Yeah, we will see a lot of teams fighting in... Well, I mean, I guess in circles that we don't normally see, but half of it being because half the circle is water, another half being because what's not water and compounds is most likely open fields. I mean, sure, here you have some trees to work around, but you got to keep in mind that teams don't play this circle to rotate into a tree and sit in the open. They play this circle to, well, I mean, get into a position that they can play from in the next circles too.
Mago trying to play the smart shots there. Elgig under pressure. Hugstar's gone down. Melman out in the open, gets clipped just a little bit there by Cold Dementor, but will escape for now.
Just a little bit of a buzz cut. Quing on one side. Quickmath, they had so smart rotations, played with such confidence and calm last game, and this time around they set themselves up in a pretty decent northern compound now. We do say northern though, because there is quite a bit of room south where the circle could potentially go. Moonwolf getting caught on rotations, they have to go somewhere and they do not know exactly where that is, seemingly at least right now. And making a rotation from what is actually a pretty decent compound into the southern side to be more center.
And trying to land those shots, but it's not going to work out. At least it will keep him at bay.
Are they crashing this? Seems like they are. Nades are coming in early, so that's going to leave them with the knowledge that there's indeed a team above them. Ooh, I'll go get inside. Just got inside before the nade blew up.
Some very aggressive nades coming out there from Desperado. They'll be looking down towards Moonwolf and keeping him at bay.
Also, it sends them a message, right? Because, I mean, first of all, they don't know that it's Desperados here, but Desperados did lose a player before. So if they know in Moonwolf that they're 4v3, that could be them wanting to push up. But now, multiple nades thrown, they're like, oh my god, who would ever want to waste 4 nades just throwing them down towards our building early game, right? That's going to be like, oh, you know what? Maybe they're probably 4 guys. We'll just settle for this house down here for a while now. Mental games. Always with the mental games.
Try to confuse the opponent, try and keep him guessing as Ronnie spots out Tarlans Marga.
He's all by himself. 2 Tarlans is holding the angle while the team is rotating, and that's gonna be an easy tap for Ronnie. Nothing coming in there, and Maga's like, wait, what? Oh, that's one of those games where you loot for days and then you get taken out.
Taken out with no cover, no teammate near him. Panko's also going to be eliminated, but this time by Tornado, so they're being picked apart by multiple teams here, not what Tarlans would have wanted. 7 on their rotation in. They've gone all the way down from the west, down in the south, and they're going to group up with Tarlans, 4AK, and Vinco all nearby.
Nobody's really settled for the lumber mill-esque prison-ish area down there. There's only Winside in the compound, and then you have these teams that are all the way down on the southern edge. But there's, well, I mean, that's pretty much the only place right now where you have some sort of room to maneuver around for teams that aren't in just yet. Now we do see blue. They'll be the last team to enter the circle, coming in as we speak. Only having lost 6 players so far, this next shift is going to be brutal, even if it does go center. Ooh,
okay.
North. Okay, so 3D Max, they're going to be in it. Forests, of course, is still there for those of you guys who are new to the game. Where Yannick is running around, it's not a big open field as it once was. There's a big forest there, but even 2 years after it's implemented, it's still not on the map. Get it on the map, guys, please.
Just draw it on, Toby.
Just, yeah. Maybe that's what we should
do. A little
do.
smiley face.
There's a forest here, like with an arrow.
Now, you mentioned about Lipovka, if teams were going to risk it. Tornado and the only ones close by, but it was only Compot who was actually sat inside it. So no one took a big risk, and it won't hinder them to try and get out of it. But it's now a fight for a lot of this space up north.
I like the aggressive rotation from Tornado Energy as well here. They haven't had the best of games today, and now they're going full speed forward. They know they can't play from Lipovka anymore, and they're driving full speed ahead, and they got themselves actually probably one of the better spots in this circle. Up on the northern side with the hill position. Now Elgiganten are running up towards them. Combat isn't quite there yet. And we can see on our screens as well how Moonwolf and Desperados are having a bit of a skirmish. Fake was knocked just before, but got back up on his feet. And well, for Moonwolf, don't really want to force a fight here, running back down towards the compound.
This fight between Moonwolf and Desperado as well could go on for quite a while, considering both of them are in the circle. It's more of another team who wants to jump in and try and third party it or rip the compounds away from them. They've also got 4 us just down away, a little bit further down the south.
I like that 4 AK and Tarlans, they're just going full Mario Kart on this one. Just as if they're driving on a circuit right now, just right behind each other. Both have the same goal in mind, but once, at some point, you'd assume they have to split up. And Havoki doing the drive-by by himself. Ermac trying to stay alive. He will stay alive for now, but Havoki is right next to him.
This is where Havoki just needs a well-placed grenade to get the job done.
Yeah.
Ermac's taking a few shots, trying to keep himself covered up here. Comes down to the open. Ronnie was there. Perfect position. The nades are going out as well. And Ermac, he's not going to survive.
Not at all. Will he get the finish off, though? That's the big question. Ronnie does get the finish off 1-1, but as you can see, Se7en, they're starting to third party this one, too. We talked about the Kotka being an excluded city, and there's one team you don't want to have sitting and looking at you, and that is Se7en indeed. VG, I was going to compliment them for their smart rotation out west, but it didn't manage to cut off. A bit too much of an angle, I feel like. They could have gone all the way over on the western side if they wanted to go forest anyway, but they drove a bit too close to Alamo and lost 2 players in doing so.
Se7en on to Kaz though. Vinco getting kills. This is what we wanted to see from these guys. Just, is it too little, too late? And they've already been finding themselves split apart.
See, all the players are out major right now trying to stay put. You've got 4 teams in there. Winside, Stella, one of the VG players, and Art of War all trying to hug it in. Soda, in the meantime, has made his way through, but it's going to be hard for him to stay put. He is in the center of the circle, though. And he'll continue to be at least inside for a little while longer. Misa, though, this is the compound for Quickmath. This is the compound that Moonwolf left to go further south. They have got to be feeling really, really bad right now.
Yeah, sometimes you just can't guess correctly. It's not going to go your way. Se7en, he's looking to get involved in this, sees the smoke and wants to take some shots for it.
He's all by himself, though, and he's outside the circle. That's going to be a tough rotation either, like no matter what happens here.
With all these teams around him, it is always a scary prospect.
Se7en, they're going for full-on rotation now as well up the cliffside, same direction we saw Tornado Energy going just before. They're going to be under tons of fire. Memo, far distance, gets himself some damage done over towards 1. It's going to be Stella, though, off of that first game win. Can't seem to get things going here in game 3 either.
First, we had Se7en go down 16 from the previous game. Now Stella, some of our bigger teams, struggling a little bit based on the rotations that have come in, but as our first team gone, it just gone 16 minutes.
Yeah, this has been a tricky one already. We already lost 14 players just 16 minutes in. Really, really difficult to deal with these areas when there's not a whole lot to play around. Now they can see the circle is closing on in as we speak. Still 2 minutes and 15 to go until it's all the way there. But for all these teams, we still have 4 teams, I believe, that haven't just made their way in yet.
Now 4 OK, they lost one of their teammates to the zone, but now they're going to try and work their way, and they've constantly been chasing this circle since they left military base.
Yeah, Nixies went down early, and they have yet to really do any bigger engagements. They have a lot of engagements in front of them, though, should they want to try and get inside the circle. Holy cow, that's a good headshot, Kravik. They need to land them, because as you can see here, they're completely pinned on the edge.
Yeah, they're just trying to fight to get in. Some of them are already in, but that whole area is open.
Yeah.
They've got their vehicles, but is it really worth trying to continue to push them forward?
Cannot play it like that. As Arena goes down, the boom spots him out. Great angle there. Then it's all gets the finish off. Soda's there around, though. They followed Arena, I feel like, from the compound.
Yeah.
Now Soda gets down on 1 in return.
Can he get the second one, and can he hold strong for his team, though? That would be huge if he can make it happen and try prone his way into it.
Interested in how it seemingly Tornado Energy are allowing for Se7en to push up here. If it was me, if I was Tornado Energy, just full focus on what they're doing down there, because they're miles out on the edge there.
That's it. You don't give a team like Se7en that room.
That's
either.
what I'm saying. Look how they could pin them down here, and they've just backed off. Frank made it to the other side. That should not be allowed, even with smokes. They should just all be up there. Maybe have one guy look the other direction. They have no one within 300 meters. Only Se7en, and this could be the downfall because of it. That, to me, is a misplay.
Let's see if that misplay will cost them anything. The smoke is down. Eddie Cos is trying to hit through these shots. to land a couple, but he's just frantically tapping through, trying to see if he can get any potential knocks. The crazy thing there for us is 1 or 2 well-placed grenades, and that's them all done for.
Yeah. It's always tricky when you're sitting kind of on top of one another, especially in the meta that we're in currently with Nates doing as much damage as they do and taking up as little space as they do. Look at the 7, they're rotating all the way around Tornado Energy, and they have no idea where to expect them. Circle even more out in the open. Before we talked about how it's difficult to play around if you don't have a compound because it's kind of open. Well, now, guys, it's if not completely open, then something close to it. Soda's in the bit of the forest that's remaining. Everything else across that street is going to be death. And now 7 and Tornado. Well, Tornado, you could have had a good fight here, but now this is going to be a trigger one.
And Melman found himself getting knocked by Elgig, which means 7 now can come behind and try and sneak attack them. They'll be aware that they're coming, but it means they're now pincered between 2 teams. The first knocks get exchanged here. No finish offs coming in just yet. Kofest out in the open, and that's not going to work out for him. Shots coming out towards him. He's managed to prone it up, and why is Frank not going to finish him just yet? He's looking, finally spots him out again, does get the job done.
This could have gone so much better for Tornado Energy, but now example, last player alive has to just run away. This is not the kind of engagement they would have wanted whatsoever.
Are they going to be able to bring Edelweiss up, though? Should be able to hopefully help him. Yeah, he's up, he's back up, he's in it, he's been revived. That gives 7 a lot of strength here. Soda spotting through the grass, looking at the Art of War players. He's not ready to take a shot on it yet. He doesn't want to engage. He wants to just prone this up. They've had 3 kills already, and they know there's plenty of fights that are about to go down.
He's inside the circle. That's the most important thing. He knows how hard it is for other teams to get into a position at all. Just gotta bide your time. Hope that they don't spot you. And for the love of God, do not shoot until shot upon.
He does exactly this and goes up against them, and he's not able to hold on to it. Winside guard in 14th, but then Vinco will follow in 13th.
Desperado try to make anything happen from the little shack they have to work around, but they're starting to get spotted from multiple angles. Now, Akko tried to make the push across as well. Moonwolf do take casualties. Calvin goes down. As well as all these teams with the circle closing in realize now that there's not a whole lot of space to fight for. Now 7 trying to make an aggressive push on forward too, and that's not going to work their way. Cultamento though, and Desperados do go down and out.
Now 2 second place. Not too bad if they go down at this point. They obviously would have liked to continue it, but it's not meant to be.
Elgiganten and 7 here as well. The fight for the East commences, and the issue here being, of course, just like we saw in Game 1 with Molman and Mac being in a position to third party. As you can see here, Edelweiss, every time he sits behind this tree and shoots, he's going to be exposed to some of those compounds down in the center of the circle. So you've really, really got to sort of play it smart in the aspect of how you peek and when you peek.
Deegs is going to struggle to come back up.
Swarm now, third partying in here, and Tornado. Gotta say it to them, they could have held off 7. That would have given them so much more room to maneuver around, potentially even have a chance to push out on the Elgiganten afterwards, but they did not play that one the way that they should have.
New circle pops. We're staying up more towards the north, gone over towards this western side, and Swarm, they've got full control of this northwestern side. It's going to be a struggle for many teams to fight their way in.
They do have plenty of room to maneuver around up there, that's for sure, but should the next one go south, it's going to be tricky for them. Now, there are 4 alive, of course, and with 29 players up still. For all these players to have to cross the road, that's the main thing right here. The road, I mean, one thing is that you have open fields, but the road, we know how open they are, we know how tricky they are to maneuver around. Now you can see Art of War Memo. He wants to get out there, wants to move forward. But how do you do that with so many teams looking your way?
Swarm still pulling off the shots. The knocks coming in. Like PG-18 looking to gatekeep Art of War as they work their way down.
Leah is playing an important role up there. He has to hold off the entire side of the circle, make sure no one's pushing over in that direction, and he's doing so right now. It's really, really working out.
Look at how many smokes are down as well.
The thing is, you got to move on them, right?
Yeah.
You see with the indicators, they're already halfway burned through. They have just popped, what? I don't even know, something like 10, 15 smokes. And if they haven't made it halfway through them yet, they're going to be in the open.
Nades coming out towards the smokes as well. PG-18 do not want to allow them to cross this road. And the longer they are forced to wait in this position, the less impact it's going to have.
4AK, they're making their way on up as well. You can see it on your map in the bottom right corner. Making their way up from behind to an honestly, Art of War should probably make this push on over earlier. They had all the smokes they needed, but hesitated for a little while, and that was a little while too long. 7 is going to go down. That's going to be 10th place for them, and Art of War now, the final push comes in. Tony and Rip, what can you do here against the entirety of PG?
Oh, you're just going to get ripped apart and picked apart. Yannick pulls back just in time. He's being chased down by Mr. Tony Sosa as he tries to come around the corner. 4 AK, the next one's to go out. They're going to be closely followed behind.
Look at this force. They have a push to make as well. And it's all these teams who are trying to cross the road, and it seems practically impossible for all of them to do, because not only do they have to fight each other, they also have to fight the teams that are shooting at them from the other side. Not really working out the way they would have wanted it to.
3D Max, 2 have crossed, 2 have not. They're on a split. 4 us close by. Larza down there in the corner.
I kind of feel for Moonwolf and still being alive in this game at least, right?
Yeah.
Because they had that compound. They were up there. They were like, nah, we'll go south. Then it shifts back on up, and at least they found their way inside the circle.
Larza will not be making it any further across, but that has allowed 3D Max to group up as a full team now. And we've got the Swarm, PG-18 and 3D Max all with 4 players in, but maybe not for long for 3D Max as Nailup's found his first knock onto Phantom. And PG-18 have stopped every single team from all different directions so far. They're getting knocks no matter who comes at them.
They've been racking points up so far, and it goes to show in the kill feed and in the scores. Overall, they're sitting up there, I believe, in 3rd place, 4th place, make that currently. Deservedly so. Only 4 kills in this game, but they're looking for more. Only thing is, they're not inside the circle yet, and well, I mean, it's going to be a tough push for them over the ridge line here.
Oh, Waggo, he avoids the first one. A second nade comes out, blows the car up as well, and will put him on his knees.
Hitrick re-smoking what was smoked before. Maybe he should have thrown it over the rock instead of into the rock. Didn't work out the way he wanted it to. Swarm, you see Drone now. Good positioning for him as well. They're splitting up. The way that they're playing this top is picture perfect. They need a guy on each side to hold off what could inevitably pushes in towards them. Don't let the people push over the north side. Drone needs to make sure PG doesn't push up to that shack too. Really, really well done by them. And they lead, and then they use Broken and Talk to hold the top of them. You can see right now, Drone is just holding in case they push. There you go. Perfect. He has the guys above him to help, and Drone has the position to take them out close range.
Easy finish-offs coming in as that's 4 kills already for the Swarm. Looking for more as Alia's going to find Rezu as well.
Keep in mind that Swarm are sitting in 13th right now, and they're pulling off smart plays like this. Goes to show the depth of the group we're playing.
Moonwolf will finally find themselves going out in 5th place, but PG-18 could be going next as they are getting pressured by both 3D Max and Swarm. Quickmath just allowing this all to go down.
This is a really, really hard one. You can see one crossing it down the edge right there. Hitrick trying to spot out players. Waggo is proning it out as best as he possibly can. Everyone's on the edge on each their side. Next circle, it's going to be a tricky one. Everyone's in each their corner. Who will get the benefit of it?
Just leaves only Nemeref left here for PG-18. He's prone, he's got smokes by him, and he's got 3D Max close by. But the moment he steps up anywhere, the Swarm will see him.
Look at Alia, doesn't want to give up the position yet. I like the play. They know exactly where he is. Nemeref does go down, so that's going to be PG out in 4th place. He has the info. It's just a matter of when you shoot. Do you shoot when you see the first one, or do you wait for that completely still standing target? Tuck goes down, and now the pressure must come.
I love the patience, the discipline. All this information that Leia has that he can pass on to the rest of his teammates is absolutely huge here. This is vital to their success on how they want to play this, because they'll say, yes, okay, Quickmath's here, this is what they're doing. Watch for this player by the tree, make sure this one's being spotted out on the rock.
I think for Leia is, though, he has to cross that road at some point, too. So, either you start shooting now or you make your way back. Now the shots are coming in. Need to get the knocks with him, though. Misa prone down, and they're now realizing, oh my lord, there's a player behind. That should have been a knock for Leia. Gotta say, because this is going to make the push across for him so damn hard, making his way back towards his teammates.
Now, this has given away the position here for Leia, but that's how he deals with it. Shots coming out towards 2OU, and 2OU is landing them all so far.
Yeah, this is not what he wanted. He needed that knock, really needed that knock in order to have any chance of making his way across. Either you get the info and push it back to your teammates, or you have to secure yourself to get that that knock on down.
3D Max need to get a move on it. It's an open area they got to fight within. No smokes by the looks of it yet either, so it is truly just an all guns blazing run across the open field and potentially become some target practice. Phantom's going to find himself knocked down first.
2 hosts in the vehicle. Drone is starting to do damage too, but look at Quickmath, the way they're stepping up here. Leah does manage to do some damage though. Gets down, Hitrick, 2 goes down in return as well. So Misa and Pelsish by themselves now. And Elias actually making his way across here.
Goes in for some of the finishes off, and hell, why not? That's 10 kills up now for the Swarm. Quickmath spraying through the smoke, spraying through the tree, trying to hold on to it. Alea's good spray, but it eats so much damage. Pelted single-handedly holding on to that one, and now Top, he's started doing some good work, but this is not looking too good. 3D Max are firing on all sides here, and they're causing a big problem for the Swarm. Tok is all alone.
Was a tough one. They needed more damage applied from the sides, and Tok now haven't been rest fortunate. He has something to do here. You have only 34 spare bullets, though doesn't want to waste them on blowing up the vehicle. Doesn't know for a fact that there's a player sitting down there. No smokes, no nades available. It's going to force Peltish back down into safety, but does manage to get himself the knock-on off.
Now that's a vital knock, and that should stop there being any chance of a revive coming in. Tok out in the open, hungry for more kills, but there's still 2 players on Quickmath to find.
Misa knows exactly where the last 2 players are. No more meds, no more utility available. Knows where they are, has to play it ever so smart. Ooh. Get back down behind that tree. Noki doesn't have a helmet. He's going to go down, and now it's 1-on-1.
3D Max take the 3rd place. Good use of the first aid kit, but his position's 100% known. It's just going to be who can land these shots first. Peltzed, no hope of him being revived. Quickmath looking to get a keen win here, and both these teams do need the points. Tok puts himself out in the open, also takes some damage from the circle. I don't know what he was trying to do there. That was far too easy for Quickmath to pick up. 6 kills is all they'll get for it, but they do take the win as well. And Tok, 2 undecided.